Section 2.1, question 15 of MathLink says Diana and John are making 3-cheese lasagna. Lasagna. The recipe calls for 100 grams of Romano, 300 grams of mozzarella, and 250 grams of cottage cheese. Write a ratio. Okay, well, I know I have to write a ratio. Good. In lowest terms to compare the amounts of these 3 cheeses. All right, so there's my question. I have to write a ratio to compare 3 cheeses. Therefore, dun, da, 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 we are going to make a 3-term ratio. I think this is the first question that uses a 3-term ratio. We'll see how it works then. So we're going to keep it in order that it appears. We'll go Romano to mozzarella to cottage cheese. Therefore, we have 100 to 300 to 250. And that's the answer. That's the ratio. That's the 3-term ratio that compares this amount. But it says to write it in lowest terms, so we have to reduce it. So just like we would reduce a fraction, let's say 5 over 10, if this was a fraction, we would reduce it by dividing both by common factors. They both share a factor of 5. And we would reduce it to lowest terms, which is 1 over 2. The same can be done with ratios, and the same can also be done for 3-term ratios. The only thing is that for all 3 terms, you have to find a factor that's common to all 3. So let's look at this and say, you know what? I'll bet you 50 is common to all 3 terms, and it is. So divide all 3 by 50. 100 divided by 50 is 2. 300 divided by 50 is 6. And 250 divided by 50 is 5. So our lowest term ratio for this is 2 to 6 to 5. What does that mean? Well, that means for every 2 grams of Romano cheese, right there, for every 2 grams, I'll use my magic pen, for every 2 grams of Romano, oh, I didn't need that. That was kind of magical though, wasn't it? For every 2 grams of Romano cheese, I'm using 6 grams of mozzarella, and I'm using 250 grams or 5 grams of cottage cheese. I'm bumbling now. What amounts of Romano and cottage cheese do you need to make the lasagna that contains 900 grams of mozzarella cheese? Well, here's our original ratio, right there. And there's our lowest terms ratio. And I'm asked to create a ratio that has 900. I'm just going to leave this one blank. I'll leave a box here and a box here that keeps that ratio proportion. And I'm thinking, which one's going to help me get there the easiest, this one or this one? And the answer, hopefully, is this one, because if I look at this one, I know that if I multiply, I'll use a different color ink here, if I multiply 300 by 3, I get 900. Now if I multiply this by 3, remember we're keeping it proportionate, I get 300 down here. And if I multiply this by 3, 250 times 3 is 750. So how much cheese would I have to use? Well, it's the hint there. I used equivalent ratios. I would have to use 300 grams of Romano cheese, and I'd have to use, even though it doesn't ask for it, 750 grams of cottage cheese. Okay, hope that was helpful to you.